Hey class, I'm Lucia Berkey from 6th period, and today we're going to be talking about sustainable design. So, what is sustainable design? This is a combination of all the ways in which humans can build houses or buildings while minimizing the negative environmental impacts. There are many ways to go about sustainable design, and one of them is proper solar orientation. This involves having the front of the house and hopefully most of the windows facing towards the south. This allows houses to absorb the most heat in the winter from the sun and the least heat in the summer, so that less fossil fuels can be wasted on heating and cooling houses. Orienting our houses in this ways allows us to take advantage of something called passive solar design. Passive solar design is construction that's designed to take advantage of solar radiation without active technology, which means that we're using the sun's rays, but we're not exerting any energy to do so. So this works by having usually a house with an overhang so that in the summer the sun's rays only hit the roof and they don't have a way to get in through the windows, while in the winter the sun is coming from lower around the house and there's more sunlight that can get inside and be absorbed into the floors and walls. Solar design is at maximum efficiency when the house has double-paned windows, a window shade, and a heat-absorbing floor. Sustainable design is a really great way to go about being eco-friendly because it's something anyone with a house can take advantage of at least parts of. It only makes a small difference on an individual level, but if it were to be widely adopted, it could greatly reduce fossil fuel use. Community planning, for instance, is a part of sustainable design, and it could involve building houses closer to the workplace, so that fossil fuel use would be reduced because less transportation would be needed, but we're actually going to look at a smaller scale of how to take advantage of sustainable design. So first off, you can have high efficiency windows that will keep the heat or cold trapped in your house. Also, in warmer climates, you can plant a shade tree that will just keep solar energy from reaching your house, and planting trees is always good for the environment. You can also put in a skylight to let rays from the sun get inside of your house easier, or you can better insulate or seal the cracks in your house so that heat and cold can't easily escape in or out and you're not wasting heating and cooling. Another thing you can do is have a high efficiency heating or cooling system that can do the same amount of heating or cooling as any regular heating system, but it uses less energy. And lastly, you can have well-insulated foundation floors and walls. Something else that we have to consider when building is thermal mass. Thermal mass is a property of a building or a material that allows it to maintain heat or cold. So when we are building, it's better for us to use materials with high thermal mass, such as stone and concrete, because these are going to hold in, for instance, the heat from a day into the night once it's already gotten colder, so that less heating is needed overnight. Some things that have low thermal mass but are still commonly used for building are glass and wood, and these are not going to retain heat nearly as well. Some other simpler approaches to sustainable design are using recycled material to build or using green roofs. And a green roof is basically just any building that has a roof that has soil and growing plants like grass or flowers or anything. And what these do is they cool and shade the building underneath, and they improve the air quality around it. Because most of the elements of sustainable design are relatively simple, there aren't any technological obstacles to implementing it on a large scale, because most of the problems would be economic. Every homeowner would have to pay for their own double windows or high efficiency heating systems, which would definitely be more expensive, but they would also be worth it in the long run. One environmental problem is also that it requires energy and fossil fuels to build these houses, and especially if the house is already built, it requires more energy to take apart the house and then rebuild it. But overall, sustainable design is a great approach to making our planet healthier. There are no political obstacles to sustainable design. However, if the government chose to incentivize people to use it, that would cause its use to increase.